Put on a suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light. Okay.
Now you're more fluent.
He got free!
Up, Bears.
So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
And
good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend, Milwaukee Bucks legendary center Paul Mokeski. Big Mo, what's good, brother?
So cheering on my Chiefs, man. They're up 10-0.
Hey, and you see I'm representing tonight. The Detroit Tigers won their playoff game today against the Cleveland Guardians. Kerry Carpenter, 3-run homer in the top of the ninth. Tarek Skubal, who will be the Cy Young Award pitcher, was brilliant. Mo, I tell you, it's nothing like the excitement of playoff baseball. Regular season, you got 162 games. So if you lose this one, you know what I mean? When there's really something on the line, it is still an exciting game.
Yeah, I mean, but it's so weird, right? That what are they? The Cleveland Guardians now? I mean, how weird is that? You know, it's interesting to me, right? So they couldn't be the Indians anymore, but I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs game, and they're doing the tomahawk chop and
Right.
chance. I mean,
And you got the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I don't understand what's what and who's who, and
the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
But my point is, I mean, when you got a team involved, it is really fun and exciting. And it really took me back to my youth when I was a big baseball fan, Mo, growing up. And I've kind of strayed from the game over the years. I think one thing, believe it or not, Paul, that there's so many games on now. It's like, when I was a kid, you got a Saturday game, or you caught it on the radio, maybe one or two games during the week. You got 4 or 5 games a night now.
Yeah, every game's on in all sports now. So, you know, you don't. Hey, Ricky, you don't have to listen on the radio no more, man. You can actually watch.
Well, see, I grew up in Nashville, so we listened to the Atlanta. We got the Atlanta games, and we got St. Louis on KMOX out of St. Louis. So those were the games we got when they had those great teams in the 60s. But it is certainly an exciting time here in Detroit. Mo,
well, that's one of the back in the day. You know, my dad's from Hamtramck, and but I grew up in California, and we actually, when I was 5 or I don't know how old I was, little kid, we actually took a train. We took a train to Detroit, our family, and to visit, you know, my grandmas and my aunts and uncles back there. And my dad took me to the old Tiger Stadium, and we sat in left field, like really but left field was so low, you know, the wall was so low, it felt like you were playing left field. That was that good.
Yeah, no doubt. And you took the train from California to Detroit?
3 days.
And you guys got here last week? No.
It took 3 days, and I had a few Army men play things, and that was it. But what an adventure. What a different life we have now, right?
Yeah, man, it really is. Our great friend Steve was checking in, and your Kansas City Chiefs are up 10-0. I think New Orleans is in big trouble in this game. But Mo, what I was saying, it's an exciting time in Detroit. The Lions have an outstanding team. The Tigers, in the last series, the Houston pitcher Hader, Hader, his season salary was more than the entire Tigers payroll, and the Tigers knocked them off, man. So,
Oh yeah.
that,
Okay. Let's talk about salaries then. Like I've been looking at the rosters of NBA teams, and a lot of the NBA teams have two or three two-way players. Those are guys that go back and forth from the G League to the NBA. And mostly in the G League, their salary is $530,000. A two-way player. They're not on the roster. They're a two-way player. That is more than I ever made in my 12 years. That's more than I ever made in a season, my 12 years of playing in the NBA. The two-way contracts are more than that now.
wow, that is absolutely nuts. And Mo, we got a lot of it's an exciting time. Football, basketball, and baseball all going on,
Hockey.
and hockey's starting up. And we got preseason games tipped off a couple of days ago, and we're going to get into a lot of NBA talk. And we want to be sure to welcome all our guests who are tuned in. Glad to see you guys. Any questions and comments about anything you got on your mind, shoot them to us. We're going to get into some NBA talk tonight about the upcoming season, which is right around the corner. Let us know who you're liking, who you're not liking, and take advantage of having Paul Mokeski in the house. This young man knows the game, played the game. His insight is off the charts. So you always want to be able to take advantage of that, for sure. And Mo, I was just checking here. Where you know where I want to start tonight, Paul?
What's that?
I want to start with Spike Lee and Jack Nicholson. When I heard it, I mean, they're going in the Hall of Fame. But apparently there's a wing called the Superfan Hall of Fame.
Why?
Yeah, why? I mean, I don't, maybe they pay for their tickets. I don't know.
I mean,
Why are they super fans? Because everybody knows them.
Who knows? It makes no sense to me. I mean, Hall of Fame, basketball Hall of Fame, players, coaches, referee, front office. Okay, and the WNBA in there, the old ABA, the Harlem Globetrotters. That's all basketball. Super fan? I mean, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand why. Why do they need to do that? I don't understand. It's mind-boggling to me.
Mo, I'm totally with you, man. In my book, if you want to honor a fan, a super fan, how about a guy who's a season ticket holder, who's been going there for years, works hard 9 to 5, saves his money up to support his team, and he might be sitting in the bleachers every night there's a game. I mean, the everyday fan is what makes the NBA what it is, and not just the NBA, all sports.
It's okay. Teams can honor fans. Fans that have been there for a long time, fans like you just said, everyday fans, super fans if they want, but not the frickin' Hall of Fame, not the basketball Hall of Fame.
We don't need that wing.
I don't understand. I mean,
I'm totally with you. We don't.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the point is, unless they're giving some money to the Hall of Fame to keep it going. Maybe I don't know. But that's mind-boggling. I mean, super fan. What about? Do we have mascots? Can we have a mascot wing too? The gorilla and the chicken and all those guys. They need to have a wing. And advanced scouts like I was. We should have a wing, advanced scout wing of this Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That's just silly to me. I don't understand.
That is that's a little too much, man. Absolutely, for sure.
There's got to be, and I understand. Okay, you promote the game. You encourage the game. Maybe you do some some movies about the game to promote the game. But you don't need to be in the damn Hall of Fame. Come on, man.
Right. Right. Well, when you played and you went to New York and LA to the major markets there, did you ever stargaze?
Sure. But New York, no, L.A., L.A. You know, all those, the stars, in L.A., the movie stars. That's who you saw who was there watching, and as I think I was playing with the Bucks, and I'm getting ready to go in the game, and someone like from behind me starts rubbing my shoulders a little bit, and he leans over and he goes, "Hey, big fellas, don't mess up my Lakers. Don't be physical with my Lakers." And I turn around, it's Jack Nicholson. Okay. I mean, if you want to talk about a super fan, in Detroit, the barber, right?
Right.
He was the super fan,
Right. Yeah, but he doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
No,
maybe the Trash Talkers Hall of Fame outside of basketball.
I mean,
I'm totally with you on that, Mo.
That's
I have nothing but love for Spike and Jack Nicholson. I think they're great characters at what they do. But man, hey,
okay, we need the Popcorn Poppers Hall of Fame. Because the day when arena early, you got there early, you could smell the popcorn. Like Boston Garden was awesome. Philadelphia was really good.
Yeah.
So there should be a Popcorn Poppers Hall of Fame. I don't know, we can put them in there.
And Steve brings up the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, which they do have their own Hall of Fame, which is separate from the basketball. Basketball is basketball.
Yeah, but I mean, Eddie Doucette wasn't totally basketball. He did a lot of different things. But guys like Chick Hearn and Johnny Most, they don't have a wing of the Hall of Fame. You know what they have? They have their microphone retired in the buildings that they worked in. That's appropriate.
Right. Yeah.
So stop it.
Well, let's keep it moving, Mo, as we get into the season. I mean, last night we saw history made when LeBron James and his son, Bronny James, stepped on the court together, shared the court in the Lakers preseason game with the Phoenix Suns. Your thoughts on that moment? And let's talk about Bronny's place in the NBA or G League or whatever it's going to be.
Well, I think the moment is special. I mean, it's never happened in basketball. It's happened in hockey. I think it was Gordie Howe or someone, way back when, and it happened in baseball a couple times, the Griffeys, and I think another, but it's never happened in basketball. There's a reason for that. Number one is, you can't play basketball when you're, 40 years old, except LeBron and maybe Kareem. I mean, come on. No one does that. It's too physical and too grinding. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, a lot of times, unfortunately, your kids aren't as talented as you are and don't belong in the league. So, but that's a special occasion. I mean, hell, if I could have, played 10 minutes with my sons on the basketball court, Michael and Brian, and, just be on the court with them. And, I played pickup with, game with them and stuff like that, and it was fun. But to be in an NBA game on the same court as my sons, that's special. And, is he worthy or whatever? Who's to say? I mean, obviously, stats-wise, I think he played 13 minutes last night, had 0 points, 0 assists, and 2 rebounds. And he was 0 for 1. And the game before in Minnesota, he played 16 minutes, was 1 for 6, 2 points, 1 assist, and 1 rebound. So, if if you were the 15th guy or 16th trying to make the roster and you had those stats, you're not making the team. But Bronny's going to make the team, and he's probably going to play in the first game, and then before he goes down to the G League, which he needs desperately, because I watched him play last night. He's not good enough. He's not good enough to play in the NBA. Is he an embarrassment? No. He's athletic. He knows how to play. He's not starstruck out there. He's not embarrassing anybody, but he's not good enough to be on an NBA roster right now. But that's beside the point, because guess what? He is, and he will be. And, part of it is, maybe the Lakers said, you know what, if we do that, everybody's, well, who you take with the 55th pick? You don't get anybody with the 55th pick. Come on, man. You get a young kid overseas you watch, and you get that anytime you want. But what they got was the son of their soon-to-be 40-year-old superstar, who last night played like a young man, blocking shots. He had 19 points in the first half. That's all he played. And you got him playing with energy. So, if your son has to sit on the bench for you to play like that, there you go. I'm good for that. If I'm coaching, I'm like, yes, I can put Bronny in the blowouts. I don't care as long as you play like that. That's good for me. But we hear all these people talk about nepotism. Because nepotism has never been as a player because it hasn't been possible. But nepotism has been in sports and definitely basketball for as long as you can remember. I mean, I was just looking up stuff today, the coach's nepotism. I knew that's been around for a long time. You have the Silases. You got Paul Silas, who hired his son Steven. You have the Musselmans, Bill Musselman, who hired his son Eric, who's coaching at USC now. You got the Bickerstaffs. Bernie hired his son JB. You got the Adelmans, Rick Adelman. You got the Malones. Brendan Malone hired Mike Malone. You got, rest in peace, Flip Saunders, who hired his son Ryan to be on his staff. And it happens all the time. It happens in the front office. Don Nelson hired Donnie Nelson to be on the bench in Golden State and then in Dallas. And then Donnie actually took over as GM of Dallas when his dad was the head coach. So, nepotism is nothing new in sports. Get over that.
You could do the same thing in the NFL, Mo.
Absolutely. My guy in Kansas City, he had his son working for. It's everywhere. It's always been that way. It's like business, because sports is business. If you go to a company that's individually owned, I guarantee if those people have kids, they're working for that company and making a lot of money. That's just the way it is.
Hey, Mo, who owns the Raiders? Al Davis's son, right?
Yeah, it was working there. When Al was still around, and he also owns the Aces now, one really good WNBA owner. But it's all nepotism. Come on, man. It's only different because it's so unusual, because it's never happened before in basketball.
Hey, Mo, if Bronny goes, and I'm sure at some point he's going to the G League, what would you make a priority? Okay, we're trying to get this guy. What are his strengths we can build on, and what is it he needs to work on?
Well, I haven't done a study on him and everything, but I've coached in the G League. I've coached in the G League for a long time, and if they send someone down like that, they give you a list of stuff you need to work on. Number one, he's going to play. I don't care how bad he can go 0 for 20. He's still going to play. Sorry, you can't take me. That's the way it goes. So he's going to play. 25. What I used to do with guys that came down from the NBA teams and my teams, and I would tell the NBA teams this. I said, listen, I'll give your player 20 minutes. He's given that 20 minutes. He's got to earn anything after that. If he wants to play 25, 30, he's got to earn that. And they were cool with that. But Bronny's a different animal, I think. And so if you send him down the G League, he's got to get his reps. He's got to play a lot of time. He goes 0 for 15, you keep him in the game. He's really athletic. He looked bigger, and he's listed as 6'1". He looked a little bigger, but he's really like 6'7" arm span. So, and he's a good defender. So let's work on you really being a defensive guy. You have to be a defensive guy to be a 3-and-D guy. So let's work on your defense, rebounding, get to the basket, attack you with your athleticism, and then during the week when we're practicing in the G League, you actually practice. Not unlike the NBA, we're going to work on your 3-point range and your balance and your shooting and all that other stuff you could do on offense, and then you're going to see them grow. That's what I would, that's what I would focus on. And guess what? And I've told players this a long time. NBA guys that used to come down to the G League, they took it as a penance. Like, oh man, I got to go down there. Don't do that. Take it as an opportunity. You get to play a lot of minutes. You get to make mistakes and stay in the game. And you can work on your game and really become a better player. I mean, Robert Covington, Bob Simmons, Andre Emmett, all these NBA guys I coached in the D League, and they took advantage of it. And that's what I would tell Bronny. And, he's not going to be a two-way player, so he's going to be a salaried player making $1.2 million.
Wow.
So,
hey, what's up, Marcus? Thanks for checking in with his brother.
Hey, what's up, Marcus?
Any questions and comments?
Tell me what you don't know. I don't know if I want to hear that, Marcus, what you think about Bronny.
Steve, a shout out to the great Joe Wolf. And he also thinks Bronny's a terrible shooter. Can you become a good shooter? Yes. I know you can't become Steph Curry, but
no. Yeah, but no, of course. I watched. Everyone was waiting because LeBron did a dribble handoff with Bronny, and Bronny shot a three from behind the arc. He didn't make it, but the form was good. He just needs repetition. That's what he needs, both in practice mainly and then in games. Repetition. You can become if you have good form, good balance. You can become a good shooter with repetition and good practice. Not bad practice, good practice. So don't just go out there and start jacking up shots. You need to work on your balance, your footwork, your release, your follow through, all that stuff all the time. But sure.
I tell you, man, NBA guys shoot the ball. I told you this a couple years ago, my daughter and I went to see the Cavs and Pistons. We got there earlier to watch them warm up. And Ricky Rubio, who's was not known as a shooter.
Yeah, I think who made that comment, Steve? That he's a bad shooter? Did Steve make that comment that Bronny's a bad shooter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Rubio was a bad shooter. Go ahead, Ricky.
But Mo, I saw him stand in the corner by himself. No, he had about 30 or 32 shots, and he's a poor shooter in the NBA.
It's a different level. I mean, I took you to the G League practice here, Ricky, remember? Yeah. When you came to visit, and, those guys can play. People have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Marcus. And hey, man, we see you guys lining up here. We appreciate having you guys on. We got next. Make sure you subscribe to the show on Sportfluence. I'll run our little place.
And share too. Share it with people so they can join us next week.
Absolutely. Marcus Carroll in a point guard body, but not a point guard mindset. Should have stayed in college and become more defined as a player.
I know what you're saying, Marcus, but at the same time, if he takes the opportunity, because I'm not sure, I would have to look and see what the coaching staff for the Lakers G League team is, but you know how that is. So, you don't have to worry about going to class. You don't have to worry about study hall. You don't have to worry about your grades. All you do is play basketball and focus on that. And if he has some good player development guys like you, Marcus is one of the best ones out there. And then he could become better in the G League. So, staying in college sounds okay, but, let's face it, he wasn't that good. Is his coach, who's not going to play him? Eric Musselman. So you're going to be sitting on the bench in college. That doesn't do him any good either.
And think about it. This time last year, he was still recovering from, some kind of deal with his heart. I don't know if it was actually a heart attack, but
no, he had a regular or whatever. Yeah, he was in the hospital. He was fighting to survive. I don't think it was critical at that point, but You know, they,
It's very
you know,
funny.
the word was out. Word was he didn't know if he was going to ever play competitively again or get cleared to play. So you got to take that into consideration also. I mean, you know, if I'm him, I mean, my life's pretty good, right? If I'm on the Lakers or in the G League, I'm making a lot of money. I don't have to worry about money. And guess what? I'm well enough to play now. I'm healthy enough to play. How happy am I? Very happy.
Marcus says his brother Bryce is the one to watch out for. I don't know much about his brother Bryce. I think he's a little bigger. I'll try to look some information up on him. Bryce James.
Yeah, I
But
don't
Mo,
think.
it is LeBron's ability to play at this quality of level for so long the most important thing, most impressive thing he's done in your eyes?
It's impressive. I mean, I saw him and when they practiced here for the Olympics, and he had the most energy, and still athletic. I mean, I watched the game last night. I mean, he had a drive to the left hand throw down. He had two blocks. He blocked someone's shot in the post, and then he did a flying block and knocked it 5 rows in the stands. He's playing at this level. I mean, Kareem I played against, and he got older, but this is a different level. He had the sky hook, and he played the center position. LeBron is doing stuff that at almost 40 years old. I think he turns 40 in February or December. Yeah, that nobody has ever done before. And Dominique Wilkins' athleticism, he played overseas for a year. It was still at a high level, even when he was, but I don't think he was 40 years old at that point. So, I mean, I've seen him in person, and I've seen some of the best athletes you'll ever see, and to him to do what he's doing, I mean, it should be a testament to players coming up now that want to be not good, not pretty good, not all league or whatever. Want to be something special, really, really mind-boggling. He spends between $1 million and $2 million a year on his body. That's with cryotherapy, stretching, diet. He spends it and really puts the time and energy. And I know a lot of NBA guys that put a great first-class weight room in their house, and they never use it. It's no good if you don't use it. So, these players, I mean, should look at what he's doing, and it's pretty awe. I mean, Ricky, I played against Jordan. I played, Magic, Bird, Hakeem. I've seen Kobe. I've seen,
Doc,
Doc, whatever. Well, I mean, Doc, Dr. J. But what he's doing now at his age, it blows my mind.
yeah. Bryce is 6'6", by the way, and Marcus says he has more size than Bronny. Bronny isn't going to get taller. Bronny could carve a niche by becoming a good defender, energy guy, and that's what you were speaking to earlier. Mark.
I can't. And Mark, you might be able to help me with this. Oh, never mind. I know Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen came in the league to San Antonio as the only defensive guy, and then made a niche for himself, just like you just said, and then learned how to shoot the corner three, and then he became an offensive weapon after finding this niche as a defender. You're absolutely right.
And you know who else did that? The guy, he played on the Bucks when they won it. He's only like 6'5", 6'6".
Paul Mokeski?
No, no, Big Mo, you're a 7-footer. When they won the title, he was a rugged defender, even though he was kind of undersized, and he shot the corner three. It's the only thing he shot. I will get his name. And he must have played 12, 13, 14 years.
Yes, absolutely. Jason Hart in New York. Jason Hart is a tough defender, rebounding guard, and now he's become. I mean, when Brunson went out, he scored like 30 points. He's capable, and now he's expanded his game. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. And Mo, let's okay. Well, I think we got. Well, here we go. One more thing on LeBron here from 3 good years. Come on now, Marcus.
Yeah, I think that might be stretching it. And I don't know if now that he's played with Bronny, I don't think he wants to play with his other son as much. He's done that. Um, you know, I tell you, I'm not going to doubt him, Marcus. I'm not going to doubt him because what he looks like at 40, if he looks at like that at 43, they need to put him not only in the Hall of Fame, in the Smithsonian Institute Museum. But you know what, Marcus? I ain't doubting that, man. The way I've seen him in person, saw him play last night. I mean, woo.
That's the line of the day right there. Put him in the Smithsonian. And the guy was talking about Mo, P.J. Tucker.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He just guards you like crazy and shoot the corner three.
6'9".
He's listed as 6'5" on this.
Guys, he defends power forwards and guards. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's put him in the Smithsonian. I love that. Hey, let's get to some of these teams because Steve says the Knicks have gotten much better. And let's look at some of that with the season right around, Mo. Let's go east. We'll start east and go west. Who are some of the teams you like? And do you like what the Knicks did in the offseason?
Well, I mean, it depends on how healthy.
Randall?
How healthy is Randall? I think that they figured that the way Brunson played and the way their season turned out, I mean, remember 2 years ago, we were talking about Randall as the triple-double guy, maybe MVP of the league. And then he got hurt, and they played well, so made him expendable. They let Hartenstein go, which was a mistake, I thought. So they needed to get another big, if you're, Anthony Towns has played more power forward because of Gobert over the years in Minnesota. And, now can he score? Can he score 30, 35 a game? Yeah. Can he shoot threes? Yeah. Is he just going to stand out there and shoot threes, or is he going to go in the three-quarter post like he should, like Embiid does, and cause problems there? And the other thing is, will he defend? Will he defend and rebound? And that's what's going to be the big test, because, we know Thibodeau, the way Thibodeau coaches, he holds you accountable. And, Anthony Towns has kind of been a slacker a little bit on defense. And the other thing is, now they're calling him playoff Towns, right? He disappears in the playoffs. So that's going to be interesting to see. But, on paper, I mean, they might have, I talk about starting fives when you look at Brunson, Anunoby, Jason Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Towns. That's a powerhouse right there. And offensively, it's going to be spectacular. Harkenstein, they gave up. Randall, who was hurt. And who's the other guy? The other Villanova player.
Now, DiVincenzo, he's gone.
Yeah, he was in the trade. They gave up him, who actually, when Brunson was hurt last year, he scored like 42 points. So we're going to see, I think during the regular season, they're going to be a lot better team. But playoff-wise, it's going to be interesting. But on paper, Steve, they look pretty darn good.
But here's a key guy that they won't have to start the year, and that's Mitchell Robinson. They're 7-foot center, good rebounder, defender, rim protector. Mo, he's got that stress fracture in his ankle that he's been dealing with.
Yeah, that's trouble for a big guy. Believe me, I know. But he didn't play most of last year. He was hurt last year, and that's when Hartenstein stepped up and took his spot. Which they would have been a good 1-2 combination. But the injuries, like we say, I tell you, the most important ability in the NBA is availability. If you're hurt and you can't play, all these rosters look great till you can't get on the floor, and that's a problem because if Robinson would be there and be able to play, he's a really good center who rebounds and blocks shots, kind of old school dude. And then you could put Towns at the 4 where he's comfortable anyway, and go small if you want to. That gives you a lot more options. So that's going to be something to keep your eye on for sure. His health and feet and ankles, tough.
Yeah. Marcus talked about Mario Ellie being another guy, just hard-nosed defender.
Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Mitch Robinson hasn't grown skill-wise. Yeah, he's just a defender, and PJ Tucker.
Yeah, hey, guess what? Hey, Robinson, you don't need no freaking skills. All you need to do is run the floor, block shots, rebound, be a rim protector, be able to roll to the basket and dunk. That's all we want you to do. We got enough skill dudes. I think that's a problem with a lot of these players is they think they need all these skills and get in their bag, and you need to fill a role, and that's where teams want you, and you get paid for that. A lot of players are making $10-15 million a year just doing that. Now in the off season, sure, work on your stuff, and the other thing is too, he's been hurt, so we can't really work on anything if you're hurt.
Well, so Boston is the team to beat in the East, the defending champs.
What do you mean by team to beat?
The favorites, as I think they're the best team in the East still.
I don't know.
As we tip it off, who you think is close?
Well, we're talking about injuries, right? Porzingis is out till Christmas.
Yeah.
So I love Horford, and he's 107 years old, but he does a great job. But he's not Porzingis, so Porzingis is going to be out for at least Christmas, maybe All-Star break, and that's in February. So that's a problem. But I mean, let's look at the starting fives, right? So if Porzingis is healthy, Boston has the best starting five, in my opinion. You got Holiday, Brown, Tatum, Derek White, Porzingis. Hello. That's pretty darn good. But Philly made a move, too, with Paul George, right? So you got Maxey, Oubre, Paul George. You drop off with a Caleb Martin, someone like that, and then Embiid, the MVP. In the Knicks, you got Brunson, Anunoby, Hart, Bridges, and Towns for now, unless Robinson comes back. And, it hurts me that Middleton is hurt again. But Milwaukee, if you're looking at Milwaukee, if they're healthy, Lillard, Middleton, Giannis, Portis, Lopez, pretty darn good.
That's a good starting five if everybody's healthy.
I'm telling you who has a really good starting five that people overlook because they've been banged up over the years. Cleveland. Remember Cleveland? They have Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, who's supposed to be healthy this year. That's a pretty strong five right there, too.
Yeah. Those are all.
Let's talk about Memphis also, right? I wonder if Ja Morant has his head on right. I mean, Ja Morant could be one of the top 10 players in the league if his head's on right, correct? So you got Marcus Smart, Ja Morant, Des Bane, Kennard, and Jaren Jackson Jr. That's strong also. And Indiana's still there with Halliburton, Nebrand, Neesmith, Siakam, and Miles Turner. So, the depth is the difference, though, with like the Phillies and the Bostons and the Knicks, to some of these other teams. But it's going to be interesting because if you look at the East, those are 8 strong teams. You got Boston, Philly, New York, Bucks, Cavs, Miami. Remember Miami, Memphis, and Indiana. That's 8 really strong teams. Orlando's young and up and coming. Brooklyn's a lost cause, but it's going to be interesting. Detroit
Well,
is
Simmons
lost
said
cause.
the other day, people don't remember that I'm a pretty good basketball player.
Who said that?
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, yeah, but he's been hurt too. Are you
Yeah.
sure? You were, yeah, you were a good player 3 years ago. Where you been? Besides demanding trades.
Hey, Mo, Marcus is cut from your claw.
Of
True,
course,
but we were talking about Robinson just rebound, pick and roll. He said true, but a lot of guys don't want to accept their roles in this era, much less be coached. Marcus Mo used to get on me when I would say guys don't know their roles. Mo said they know their roles, they just want to accept them.
yeah. Well, I did as a coach. I did, talk to meetings and some stuff, talk about. They all know their roles. They don't accept them. You're right, Marcus. And you know what? Here, I'll also put this out there. If you're a role player in the NBA, sometimes it's more valuable to know when you should not shoot than when you should shoot. Because when you shoot, if you're not one of the top players and you're shooting, you're taking shots away from the other good players. So when I play for the Bucks, I shot about 5 or 6, maybe 7 shots a game because I knew guess who needs the shots? Sidney Moncrief, Jack Sikma, Terry Cummings, Craig Hodges, Ricky Pierce. Let me keep going on and on. Every time I shoot it, guess what? They don't get to shoot it. So that's about accepting your role too.
But Mo, you are an excellent shooter. What if you had it going that night?
Still know when to take your shot. I mean, of course, I mean, I could probably count on my hand the number of games I shot 15 or more shots. I mean, 15 shots. I mean, guys are shooting 30 a game now, right? Some guys. But, I mean, I scored 15 points in a quarter. I had 23 points in a game, and that's when I was going a little bit, and I had a little more freedom and a little more openness to, if I hit a jumper or two in a row, I'm going to take another one, which on a regular night, I'm going to go ahead and pass that to Sydney probably. But, yeah, if you're growing, you're
Right.
going, you get to take some more shots. But, I'm not taking 30 shots. Hey, I'm going, man. Pass me the ball. I'm going.
Right. Hey, what is that feeling like, Paul, when everything's working?
People talk about being in the zone or, and it is kind of like that. You don't really think. I mean, you've been in the zone, Ricky, on the golf course, right? I've been on the zone on the golf course too, where, there's some time when, like every tee shot, I just got up on the tee, teed it up, whack, and it goes straight down the middle, 290 every time. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, this is not a question. I know this is going down, and it's the same in basketball where, you start shooting and you release the ball and you just feel like it's going in. And, whether you think the basket is really wide but it's kind of like a feeling of, this is going in, like, before you take it, like, when you're in the zone playing golf and you're hot off the tee, when you're teeing up the ball, you're not even thinking about, okay, I'm going to hit this 290 and here we go.
But the only difference, Mo, there's no 7-footer trying to send my shot into the 5th row.
Yeah, but there's trees and water and sand, Ricky, and wind and all that stuff.
Well, I guess that's a good point too.
But yeah, it kind of, I don't want to say unconscious, but you're just kind of, everything feels right, and
Terry Cummings loved every shot.
Yes, he did.
Some,
But also, I'll tell you this, Steve, Terry Cummings loved every shot, but he also posterized people, banged on the glass, and was physical and tough on defense. So, when you're like that, you can do that.
you don't mind those. Well, let's go west then, Mo. Because if the East has 8 good teams, The West has 10.
I'll give you my 8. Dallas, OKC, Phoenix, Minnesota, Denver, Sacramento, New Orleans if Zion's healthy, and the Lakers. Those are my 8. Who am I missing? Clippers. Don't like them.
You don't.
Portland.
You don't like them.
San Antonio. I like them. I like the direction. They're not there yet. Houston, maybe.
Did you say Sacramento?
Yes. Yeah.
You said Sacramento.
Yeah. I mean, look at I've been looking at starting 5s today. Sacramento has D'Angelo Fox, Herter, DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. That's their starting 5. Pretty strong. And that's why when you look at starting 5s, in my opinion, Dallas is going to win the championship next year if they stay healthy. That's what I think with the addition of Klay Thompson, because they have Kyrie, Luka, Klay, PJ Washington, and then Gafford or Lively put one of those bigs in there. That's a pretty darn good team. But if you look at the Lakers, people are sleeping on the Lakers. They have Russell, who I'm not sold on, but you know what? I watched him play last night. J.J. Redick is a brand new coach, but he seems to have that team rocking with him, and he's put accountability on Russell to be that player. Then you got Reeves, Hachimura,
Mo,
LeBron, and AD.
say that. We lost you. Talk about what you saw from the Lakers. You kind of cut out on us for a second. So say that again. You were talking about the Lakers.
So do you hear me now?
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, you're good.
Okay. So J.J. Redick is a new coach, but I noticed last night that the players like him. They're playing for him, and he's giving them some freedom, but he's holding them accountable. So Russell is held more accountable. He's a skilled player. I just didn't like his turnovers. Then they have Reeves, Hachimura, LeBron, and AD. What better starting 5 is out there? Dallas, Phoenix, maybe if they're healthy. They got Booker, Beal, Grayson Allen, KD, and Nurkic. But the Lakers are right there. Minnesota has changed a little bit with that trade, but they have like Conley, Ant, Randall, Naz Mohammed, and Gobert. So that's looking pretty good. And you know what? I haven't really been that much of a Russell Westbrook fan, but putting him with Denver, think of this lineup: Russell, Murray, Porter, Aaron Gordon, and the Joker.
Wow, yeah.
That's pretty. And then you have Brown back off the bench. So, that's. But I don't think like Houston, maybe San Antonio, not there yet. Portland, no. Clippers, not really. I think they're 8 strong, but if you put Houston in there, that's 9. So we'll see.
But you talked about Dallas. We were talking about knowing your roles. Their 2 bigs know their roles. Gafford and Lively. They are rebounding, attacking, protecting the rim. They don't worry about getting shots whatsoever because they know they're not going to get any anyway. So why worry, right?
Then they have a veteran, Exum, played for France, who's been around. He knows. Kleber, who is a 6'9" three-point shooter that knows his role. Dinwiddie, knows his role, accepts his role. Yeah, so I think they found close to the magic sauce last year by making the finals. They made that step. Look at Kyrie, but, they got those bigs that do what we talked about doing. And now you add Klay Thompson, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the league, spot up, doesn't need to dribble. He doesn't need to dribble. Kyrie and Luka dribble. And Klay's just going to knock down shots and open up for everybody. Woo. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I have them as the front runners in the West and possibly NBA championship next year.
What about them on the defensive end?
You know, your best defense is to keep scoring. But I mean, Klay Thompson's a good defender, right? He's a
He
little.
was really good.
He used to be really good. Lively's a good rim protector. Gafford's a good defender, shot blocker. You know, so you know that's a good, interesting point, though, Ricky. So if I'm in the locker room, if I'm on the coaching staff, I'm meeting with Luka and Kyrie. Listen, guys, and I've had this meeting before in Dallas with Steve Nash and Dirk back in the day. Listen, we can score. We love. You guys got to play some defense. You don't need to be a defensive stopper. You just need to be solid. You need to just try and stay in front of your guy. You need to push the players to the pick when we got pick and roll cup. Just do the basic stuff. You don't need to be some defensive stopper. But if you lift up your defense a little bit, our team is lifted up a lot. And that's a conversation I would have.
Marcus agrees. Dallas is dangerous with their power forwards, and Luka must quit crying and just play.
Yeah, I agree, Marcus. I don't know if he ever will.
Good luck with that. Hey, Mo, you had the pleasure of working with Dirk. What was it like working with him and watching him develop his game? Clearly, he must have been a hard worker to perfect.
One of the hardest. When I got there, Dirk, Steve Nash, Mike Finley. Remember Mike Finley?
Yes.
He's a great wing player, really good. Kind of reminded me of a Ricky Pierce a little bit. Offense, but defended. But all three of those guys were the makeup of our team when I first got there, and all three worked as hard as anybody. And that's what Magic Johnson does. Michael Jordan did. Larry Bird did. They worked as hard. They worked. That's what LeBron does too, by the way. But those guys, Dirk, those guys loved being in the gym. They listened. They weren't jerks about it. They wanted to be coached. If you could help them with some little thing, like with Dirk, I talked Dirk, you get switched out on these guys and everything. You're not going to stay in front of them forever. But if you could just take one more step and make him go a little wider, it's going to help a lot. And he was willing to do that because he's a hard worker. And, being coachable is important. Just like accepting your role, being coachable is important also. And, Kobe Bryant said it the best. He said, great players want to be coached and want to be coached hard. He said that. And that's what Dirk was. But those three guys were all like that. You couldn't, take a day off. No, I'm going to go work on my three. They shot. They would get in a shooting thing and they'd shoot 100 threes, in rotation. And they would keep track. And whoever lost, I don't know what it was, money or something. But, those guys shooting 100 threes, they would make in the 90s every time.
Hey, that's really interesting to know because Hall of Fame player just say he had that little one-legged. I'm like, it's not the proper shot, but apparently.
No. Yeah. No. If I did that when I was playing, coaches would have went crazy because with bigs you're not supposed to fade away. You're supposed to be strong and pivot and be strong. But Dirk could make that, and he's 7 foot. He's taller than me and longer than me. And, he can make that, and he'd make that a weapon that the Joker, all these guys use now. It's a given. Back when he was doing it, no one was really doing it. And all old school coaches are going, what are you doing, man? You're fading away, But, if you have balance and you're effective with it, everybody uses that as a tool now. That's a statue in front of the arena.
And that's why, and as to Marcus' point, that's why he could take you down low and do work. Hey, speaking of a big man, reports out of Memphis, the Grizzlies are really pleased with the development of Zach Edey. I'm happy to hear that for him. and I hope he's able to get some minutes for that team this year. But Bo, you said he could be a surprise for somebody. You remember at one point people were saying he won't even get drafted, and I'm like, he's the 3-time player of the year in college basketball. I know that don't mean much, Mo, but the guy is not a stiff.
No, and here's the problem. People look at stuff you can't do. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He can't move his feet that fast. If he switches on a littler guard, he's going to struggle to stay in front of him. So does the Joker. You know, I'm not saying he's the Joker, but instead of looking at what he can do, great hands, great passer, finishes strong around the basket, great shot blocker, good basketball IQ, makes his free throws. Hello? And he's 7'3" or 4. I mean, I told you this a long time. I mean, I'm watching scouts, and I'm talking to him a couple of years ago. I'm like, listen, he to me looks like between a Yao Ming and a Brook Lopez. Why wouldn't you draft that guy? And I think Memphis is fine. I think he's lost weight too, which is good. But I hope it doesn't affect him that much. But I'm telling you, he knows how to pick and roll, and halfway roll, catch and kick it out to shooters. He's strong with the ball, keeps the ball up all the time, and he's 7'4". I mean, the only guy that's going to give him problem is Wemby in San Antonio with his size. But yeah, I'm happy, and I'm excited to see. You know, he's going to get some playing time this year, and I'll tell you what else. All I hear from the players, his teammates, they love him.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey Mo, we're heading down the home stretch. Steve was asking if Steven Adams back. I gotta check that out, Steve. I'll try to look that up before we get off the air.
Yeah, I believe he is. I'm not sure where. Someone posted a picture of who are we talking about?
Steven Adams.
Yeah, a picture of his house in his bedroom, and all he has is a mattress on the floor. He's making like $20 million. I think he's back, but there's a guy that knows his role, accept his role. The problem with him is that, I mean, I know you're defensive guy and physical, blah blah blah. But shoot, when you catch it in the paint, you got to look to score. He'll catch it right in front of the rim and he'll pass it out to somebody. That drives me crazy about him.
And Steven's he's in Houston this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you who won't do that. Edie. He won't do that. He'll score that in the play.
Yeah, and Edie will try to dunk it on you. He's got a nasty streak about him too.
Yeah, he does. Because I'm telling you, man, he's been made fun of probably his whole life. You know what? He used to be a really good baseball pitcher in high school. Can you imagine that on the mound? But there's a lot of bigs like him that kind of like they play soft, and he plays tough, and he's got a mean streak. You're right on that, Ricky.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you I got a chance to see him play against Michigan last year. I'm like, this dude, he can move. He's not fast, but he's quick around that ball.
Yeah, so he's not gonna. They're not gonna pass it to him all the time, but he could do the other stuff. And I think I saw in the Chicago pre-draft, he was stretching out to 20 feet with his jumper.
Yeah, and his coach said his coach said he has no problem with him shooting 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Mo, we got maybe 2 minutes. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm just excited for the NBA. I'm watching some of these games, and you know what I was excited about? The Lakers and Suns played last night, and all the starters played in the first half, which is kind of unusual, which was nice to see. And a lot of these teams that have shifted around and added or subtracted players, they got to get used to playing with each other. This is going to be an exciting year. And you know what I'm scared of, though, Ricky? Some of these big-time players getting hurt and not being able to. We want to see we want everybody healthy, and then the best team wins in a 7-game series. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm excited about in about 3 weeks or so, my Kansas Jayhawks are coming to Las Vegas to play the Duke
Oh man.
The Duke Daredevils or whatever the heck they are. And one of my good friends, Mike Kaminsky, and another good friend, Steve Gray, played for them. But hey, I'm excited about that.
We'll have to get Mike back on the show too. That would be great. Hey, but Mo, we got to get out of here, man. Thank you, everybody. Hey, we are just getting warmed up. We got a whole new season in front of us. We're excited to be talking basketball again, but we got to go. For my great friend Paul Mokeski, I'm Rick Hampton. Peace, everybody. See you next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night.
Go Chiefs.